So, it seems like my first review completely failed about that tank because I completely forgot to put my mic on. But now, yeah, I think it's plugged in. Let's talk about the downsides straight so we can put them away. It's the 5 degrees of gun depression. 5 degrees, even if the tank is quite close to the ground, will still make you struggle, especially on hilly terrains. But once you learn how to play correctly and learn that you need to be on flat grounds or things like that, you shouldn't have a problem with the gun depression anymore. But still, sometimes it's really frustrating. The second thing is the gun dispersion. 0.33 is quite huge for a light tank, which means that you're not the best in terms of accuracy. Which means that if you want to use it correctly, you must use a vertical stabilizer, because otherwise, if you put the refined gun, yes, you will decrease your gun dispersion, but you will lose one important thing, which is the plus 15% to accuracy during tank and turret movement, which is quite important knowing that, well, you're a light tank and when you shoot, you're in movement. For the other statistics, when we talk about the mobility, it's one of the greatest. It reminds me of kind of a free-to-play Dracula, or at least the same as the LTTB. The acceleration is just out of that world, which will allow you to take advanced position no matter what kind of map you're playing on. Hard terrain, easy terrain, we don't care. Finally, something really cool to notice, the fact that this tank features some excellent armor, at least on 3 different parts. The first is the upper part of the turret cheeks right there. Of course, if you get shot in this area, you will get penetrated because it's literally flat. But here, yeah, you can climb up to more than 220 millimeters if used correctly. And it's the case on the other side right there as well. So if you're lucky enough, while running around, people will shoot at those areas and bounce, except of course if you're shooting at tier 8 or tier 8 are shooting at you, and well, here you're gonna get crushed. And the last really cool part is the gun mantlet, because as you can see, as you have spaced armor plus the armor profile of the turret, it helps quite a lot bouncing shells. In order to understand the playstyle, something that would be cool is to do a live battle, and that's for the best because we're actually in a live battle. So the replay or the playstyle is divided in 3 steps. The first is spotting actively. How do we do that? We try to find a position from which we can spot, and bang, we give our teammates the informations on where the enemies are located. There we go, sneaking our first shell straight on the M41 Jade. Maybe we can sneak in another one, or do we lack too much of gun depression? Yeah, we don't have enough gun depression. That's the main problem I have with this tank, which can be sometimes quite frustrating. Okay, now we have the info. We know that we have 2 tanks to deal with on this side. But if they are alone and that nothing is yet spotted, it probably means that they went alone on their sides. And if it's the case, you know what it is. It's the sentence. There we go, trying to sneak my shells, going straight for adrenaline and playing aggressively. We destroy the tracks in the process, and bang, Sherman Firefly is no more. Now we only have to deal with the Cromwell, and it's only a game of DPM. And luckily for you, the DPM of that tank is crazy enough for you to completely destroy the enemies and decide the fate of your opponents. Now we enter the second part of the replay, which is strategically choosing your targets. You have 2 possibilities, either sticking with the rest of your teammates or try to find isolated targets. And if you do, well, you have the possibility of having some fun against them, even if they are broken in the first place, like it's the case with an Annihilator. All you have to do is circling around, trying to get the mighty tracks if you can. Yeah, I missed this one, but hey, that's the price to pay, not a problem. There we go for an HE, killing the Jade, and now only having to deal with the MT25 once we see him. Okay, we bounced only 1. And I definitely need to play a little bit more carefully right now, otherwise I'm gonna get destroyed. I went, maybe I rushed the Annihilator when I shouldn't have, because obviously this guy had enough mobility to circle after and to deal with me. But hey, sometimes all you want to have is some fun. Okay, so there we go, he's dead. Now we only have to find a target P, and I'm kind of afraid because, well, I'm expecting him to be right there, probably around, lurking, and I don't want to fall on him, exactly what I wanted to avoid. Okay, very good. Is he gonna move or anything? Or is he just gonna stay here? Yeah, I'm not gonna bother. I'm a one-shot. If I was not, I would have tried to circle him, but here it's kind of impossible. And I feel like this guy is only gonna focus on me. Okay, no, we're good. We're good. The T-34-85 is taking one for the team. Thank you, mate. Really appreciate it. Come on, let's kill the guy. Bang. We got 4 kills, 3k damage. I don't feel like it's going to be an ace tanker, but still. You saw we tried to lurk around. We didn't mess around when we couldn't. And finally, one important thing we did was spotting at the very beginning of any games you play with this tank. Let's go for a second replay, pre-registered this time. Once again, the 3 steps of the playstyle. The first being lurking around and spotting, aggressively spotting, like we're gonna do right now. The second one being finding isolated targets. The third one being finishing off the opponents, or trying to lurk around and do a mix of the first 2 steps. So, well, you see that nothing is spotted yet. Thanks to our amazing mobility, we arrived here first. We see that there is a VK. I'm switching to HE shell because obviously that's always nastier to get those HE shells straight into the ass of the light tanks. And well, it's not gonna take too much time for the VK to completely die off. Now we only have to deal with the P43 TER, and here, once again, we have a problem of gun depression, which forces us to kind of peek in order to bait the P43 TER into shooting us. When he's done, we can just lurk around, sneak 1 or 2 shells in, and come back to a safe cover. This is a pretty common tactic among every single light and medium tanks, and even heavies in this game, and I encourage you to try it out. Now, of course, we enter the second step. We know that the guy is isolated, so we don't bother. We go in straight. He doesn't care about us. I don't know why he doesn't care about us. And on top of that, we have the possibility of sneaking all the shells that we need. Unfortunately, here I did a mistake. Instead of trying to ram the P43 TER, I took his shot. I don't know if I would have get destroyed or lose more hit points by ramming him rather than taking the shots and killing it off. But hey, now it's too late. Time to put that aside. Once again, second part of the playstyle, either finding isolated targets or try to lurk around if it helps your teammates. And here I did a choice. I know that the Smasher is coming on me. And well, I don't want to figure out what a Smasher could do to my tank. So what I'm gonna do, instead of going back and getting imprisoned by the T25/2, the EV201 and the Smasher, I decided to push the lonely target and the low life one, which is the EV201. Unfortunately, as my tracks are extremely weak, I got tracked as soon as I hit the smallest spot of the VK. Not a problem, because in the end we only had to follow the T25/2 to kill it as well, and now we are dealing with a Smasher in a 2 versus 1 situation. Now, the third part of the playstyle, use your mobility. We are going to make him believe that we go on the left side of the map, whereas instead we are going to go back to a safe cover and try to attack him from a different angle. That's a common tactic among light tanks, and it works approximately 85% of the time, based on my calculus, obviously, that are completely wrong because they're based on my opinion on how that tactic should work and how many times it works. But hey, I've never been disappointed by this one. It always works, and you're gonna see it right now. What we did is making him believe that we were going on the other side, the right side, whereas in fact we attack him from the left. And it's gonna work perfectly because, well, he doesn't care about us. We sneak our shells, getting 4 kills, 2.6k damage, and well, a well-deserved victory, which leads us to get a first class, wallet warrior, never mind, Top Gun, etc, etc. So you see that in the end, the LTG is a great tank that requires some knowledge, especially map knowledge, because you will have to deal with 2 things: being a good scout for your teammates, and most importantly, dealing with getting only 5 degrees of gun depression. This is why, in my opinion, the whole line is only meant for people that already have enough experience in World of Tanks Blitz to know where to place their tanks. But if you're a newbie and want to try your luck out, just go. I mean, you couldn't say that I did not tell you not to. So hopefully you enjoyed. If that's the case, feel free to subscribe, like, and share. And personally, I'm gonna see you soon for a new video. Bye.